Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So we all know how I feel about chicks in student loan debt, okay? Guys, if a woman has any large amount of debt, especially student loan debt, she is disqualified from any of your attention, okay? Don't date them, don't talk to them, don't do it, guys. Because all they're trying to do is find some simp to come in and swoop in and pay off their loans.
Here I come to save the day.
Don't do it, okay? Don't do it. So, guys, we're going to go to the dumpster fire known as TikTok because there's a bunch of knuckleheads saying that the reason why women own 2/3 of the student loan debt is patriarchy. So we're going to get into this, guys. But before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment. It really helps keep this channel going. And check out my second channel linked in the description. If you like videos like this, check out the playlist at the end, and let's go.
Back to this series, student loan debt is a reproductive justice issue, and it's one of the many reasons I don't think they're ever going to do anything about student loan debt in this country. Like, think about the last 50 or so years that women have had pretty widespread access to getting a college education and how much that has changed the fabric of reproductive choice in our society. Like, women have become more financially independent, less dependent on men, we're more empowered, more knowledgeable, and we've seen that more women getting college educations leads to more women opting out of motherhood, delaying motherhood, or having fewer kids. Like, education is a tool of reproductive freedom and reproductive justice. And I honestly think they see student debt as kind of like a punishment for.
So basically, women have all this freedom now. They're free to succeed and they're free to fail, and look what they've chosen to do. Clown world.
Are pushing the boundaries with reproductive freedom and going against the default of being reliant on a man and falling into motherhood early on in life. As
there it is.
What other options did women have before we could get educations and have our own jobs and careers and our own stability? If they did something about student debt, if they canceled any amount of student debt for people that currently have it, they're going to have to fix the problem of very expensive education for students in the future. In a world where women can go to college with low or no cost, no student debt,
they would still have high interest car loans. They would spend all their money on stupid Fendi bags. They would still be single moms living in poverty, right, guys? Even if they were to forgive all the student loan debt tomorrow, women would be spending money on stupid stuff. And we know this because the last 3 years, because of the cough, they suspended student loan payments, and these women are still screwed. And guys, for hashtags, hashtag student debt, hashtag student loans, hashtag reproductive rights, hashtag feminism, hashtag reproductive justice, clown world.
That is not a world that clearly the people that are making the decisions right now are interested in. That is a world where people are very reproductively free. And I don't see that ever happening. Student debt is a tool to prevent people from being reproductively free.
Are you guys hearing this? Are you seriously hearing this? Guys, this is real. I'm not making this up. She's trying to say that student loan debt is what's keeping women from being reproductively free because, once again, accountability is kryptonite. You don't have to go to college. You don't. Right? They're choosing to go to college. They're choosing to take on more debt because the men are choosing to either not go to college, and if we do, not take out a lot of debt and go into careers that earn more. And when women are doing the exact opposite, and they want to blame everyone else but their problems, clown world. I got to break out the race card for this one, guys. Look at that. And look, we're off to the races, man. She has the hoochie hoops, the bull ring. You know nothing good's gonna come from this. Let's go.
Okay, so I'm not gonna call anyone in particular out, but I have noticed something about this page. Some of y'all get triggered when I mention the fact that student loans are actually a racial and gender-based issue.
Please.
And before people start arguing with me, a simple Google search will show you why Black women are disproportionately impacted by student loan debt. But I would say this is one of my favorite articles from The Nation. And I'm gonna read you a quote. Women of all races carry 2/3 of the $1.7 trillion in outstanding student loan debt. Black women carry more per capita, carry it for longer, make less money, and have less help when trying to pay back their debts. It's a bleak picture. Essentially, Black women are punished for daring to try to improve their prospects with education and credentials.
So she says that being held accountable and actually being expected to pay your debt back is punishment. Clown world. There it is. There it is. No one asked you to go to college. And no one asked you to take out this much debt. How about you work during college like I did? I paid for my whole undergrad myself, right? I worked the whole time. I had 2 jobs. I had school. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I only took out some debt in grad school, but I still worked. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. Her hashtags. Hashtags seduced and scheme. Hashtag student loans. Hashtag feminism. Hashtag misogyny, hashtag misogynoir, please. Now, for all you guys who might not know, misogynoir is this woke term where they're trying to say it's racism and misogyny put together, clown world, right?
One of my favorite metaphors that's made in this article is the idea that if white people have a cold in this country, then Black people have pneumonia and Black women have the bubonic plague. It's vastly important to center the most disproportionately affected people in any problem you're trying to solve.
Guys, the only thing that I can agree with her is the whole bubonic plague thing. Guys, treat Black American women who look and sound like this, treat them like they have the bubonic plague. Just run, guys. Run fast and run good. Clown world.
One of my more recent videos, I touched on student loans and why women, and especially Black women, carry the majority of that debt. And I actually had a family member that messaged me and was like, but why? But they were genuinely asking. So let's talk about it. Forewarning, this is going to be very brief. This is such a complex subject, but
no, it's not.
I'm just going to touch on a few things. Take it as you will. So women weren't allowed to vote. They weren't allowed to have jobs. They weren't allowed to have bank accounts not that long ago. And while that's not necessarily the direct thing that's happening today, that trickles down. It means women don't have as much money going into college. They don't have as much as they start their college career, which means they have to take out more in loans. On top of that, more women tend to go to college, so that is also a portion of it. But then when women get out of college, there's the pay gap, 81 cents to $1 that every man makes. So
there it is, guys. I was going to let it go, guys. But you know, all these chicks got to bring up the wage gap. And if anyone honestly believes that that wage gap BS is true, I got something for you.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Clown world. Absolute clown world, man. And this whole women couldn't vote until how, really? It's been how long? Come on, guys. And you guys see that the race card is still out. Because she's going to start blaming all you white men here soon. Her hashtags, guys. Hashtag student loans. Hashtag student debt. Hashtag student loan debt. Hashtag student. Hashtag loan. Hashtag racism. Hashtag patriarchy. Hashtag patriarchy problems. Hashtag XYZBE. I don't know what that means. Anyways.
So then we aren't making as much. So we get out of college, we have more debt, and we're trying to pay it back, but we can't pay it back as fast because we don't make the same type of money, which means the interest, she just keeps on a ticking. And then if a woman becomes pregnant while she's in college, that's a whole nother set of things because she may have to take time off, which means she has to take longer to finish school, or she doesn't take time off, but she can't take as many classes. And then she needs a loan to help care for herself and the baby because she can't work full time because she's in class.
Notice how she said becomes pregnant? There goes taking away that accountability. A woman gets pregnant. She decides to get pregnant. She decides to have sex with no contraception, and she decides to go through with having the baby. Now, why would any knucklehead have a baby in a situation where they have to take out loans to support? And here's another thing, guys. You notice how there are these white chicks trying to lecture white people about what's racist, right? Isn't that funny how that works?
It's a thing. Now let's look at Black women, because
here it comes.
They have all of these issues, and then you add race on top of it. And we all know that that's not going to end well. Take these numbers as you will. It's more about the concept. So just know I'm making these numbers up. But let's say a Black woman takes out $100,000 in student loans. She may end up paying back $250,000 or $300,000 in loans. And that is because the pay gap just for being a woman, and then the other pay gap for being a Black woman. And that's not the only reason. Another reason could be because Black women have to be extremely overqualified.
Or that they major in stupid majors like social work, gender studies, communications, criminal justice, a bachelor's in psychology, social work. All those that don't pay any money whatsoever, right?
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is a great current example of this.
No, she's not.
Before her confirmation, the other justices that sat on the court weren't really that qualified. But of course, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson had to be extremely qualified to even be considered for the same position. So she basically outdid him in every way, and still is. I just want to reiterate that this is like a very brief, quick, simple overview, but it kind of gives you an idea of why women carry more debt. And to just sum it up quickly, patriarchy and white supremacy. So
there it is.
It's those two.
There it is, right there, guys.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Don't listen to knuckleheads like this, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think she had a wedding ring on her finger. Guys, whoever you are, dude, run. Run fast and run hard. Okay? Absolutely insane. Guys, don't fall for this. This is what they're teaching in colleges. This is what they're teaching in high schools. And I'm telling you, it's always these college-educated, upper class, upper middle class, white chicks that are trying to lecture everyone else. And I guarantee you, this chick probably doesn't even have any Black friends. Guys, I am Black, but I grew up in super woke Washington State. So I've dealt with knuckleheads like this my entire life. Okay? And they can say anything that they want and justify this student loan debt, but these women are doomed, man. They're doomed. And they're looking for someone to swoop in and pay off the debt.
Here I come to save the day.
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. All right, you guys. This is AJ. I appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. Have a good one, guys.